Welcome to the Conscious Leadership Podcast. In this podcast, we discuss the how-to of creating conscious leadership for business, life, and the world. With ordinary people doing extraordinary things and being truly in control of their own health, wealth, and happiness. Knowledge plus action with a plan creates magical results. Introducing your host, Julie Hogbin, author, international speaker, mentor, disruptor, and creator of conscious leadership, and property investor living in the UK. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are listening from. A recording and a live and some information from me to you, for you, within these times of change, within these times of uncertainty. Good old Maslow and his hierarchy of needs. For those of you that know, for those of you that don't know, Maslow was a theorist from the 1950s, motivational theorist. He did a lot of other stuff as well, stuff being my technical word. And he designed and created a hierarchy of needs. Now, what I'm going to say about this hierarchy of needs is that in the past, I have operated in some respects without the hierarchy being fulfilled. I also know that I am I'm going to say, a particular risk taker, and I always know that my glass is half full, it's never half empty, and I always know where I'm going to get it filled up from. So I have a slightly different perspective, psychological makeup than quite a few people. So let me talk about Maslow and his hierarchy of needs. And where I see this coming into play is whenever there is a lot of change. When there is a lot of change, it creates uncertainty. And where Maslow comes in, so for those of you that don't know, and for those of you that do know, as a reminder, there's in Maslow's original model, there's 5 levels. And those 5 levels are, and I've actually got some notes so I don't get it wrong. Those 5 levels are, the bottom one is the physiological needs. The second one is safety. The third one is belonging. The fourth one is esteem. And the fifth one is self-actualization. So what do they really mean? And what do they mean for us now? For us, the people around us, and the people that we are in isolation with, that we are in association with, we are in relationship with. What do they really mean, and how are they affecting us? And please remember, I have worked with a lot of people over decades around what happens with change. So, 3+ decades. I've been on this planet a long time as well. I see this happening all the time. So my relation in this live recording, I'm putting onto my podcast, Conscious Leadership Podcast, is around the current circumstances and what that might be doing to us. It'll be doing it for some and not others, but bear in mind that we may be in relationship with those people. So the bottom level is the physiological level. Now, the physiological level is basically around having a roof over our head, being warm, having access to the nutrients that we need to survive. So food, warmth, water, and rest. Now, I'm already seeing posts about people aren't sleeping well, and it's because of the anxieties that are coming through. Now, if we're not sleeping well, we're not resting. I'm seeing people concerned about, and one of my tenants, I'm a landlord as well as a leadership management consultant. I've already had one of my tenants saying to me, I'm really worried about the roof over my head. He's a chippy. He's a tradesman. He's a master chippy woodworker. And he's worried. He's never not paid. He's never not had a day sick. He works, but he's worried about me evicting him because he can't pay his rent. So I have had assured him that I won't be evicting with him. I'll work with him. I'm helping him do his claim because he's also dyslexic. I'm helping him do his claim because he needs the safety and the security of knowing that he's got a roof over his head, that he's got warmth, that he's got sustenance. So people are, depending on, regardless of where they were on the levels before this change, with all the uncertainty, they're coming back down. So Maslow says that we come back down to the level that's being shaken, that's being rocked, and we come down to repair that one, get that one certain again before we then can come back up the hierarchy. So the bottom levels: food, warmth, water, rest. Now, if you look at what's going on with the supermarkets, all the panic buying, if you think about nothing being on the shelves, people's certainty of actually, good morning, Belinda, people's certainty of actually being able to put food on the table disappeared for a few weeks. You know, think about the elderly at home. I'm shopping for I'm keeping in touch with a 94-year-old. Now, he has organised home deliveries. He's organised his food. And I was talking to him the other day, and I'm getting his odd bits, as one of his other neighbours are. I'm getting him his odd bits, but he's nervous. Now, that will be affecting him. He's 94 years old. He's self-isolated long before this started. So please think about people's basic levels of need is food, water, warmth and rest. Now, for those of you that have got tenants and that are now home all day, every day, and fortunately we're in quite nice times, think about how people are going to keep warm, because they're going to be sitting indoors, not moving, getting cold. Think about how the heating bills are going to go up for us as landlords. I've just thought about that. That could be a big one. So that's the basic level, and that has completely become uncertain. Now, the next level up is safety, and safety is our basic rules on how we operate. This is our norms of society, our norms of operating within a working environment, our norms of what we do, how we do. It's the laws, the rules, the regulations, the processes, the procedures that we follow within life to be safe. Of course, they've all gone out the window. So, you know, we used to be able to walk into a supermarket, get what we wanted and come out. Now we are queuing. So we are being imposed new rules, new restrictions. We're queuing 2 metres apart. Some shops aren't open. We're not allowed in. We can't go to the parks. These are all our basic rules of society that we take for the norm going out the window. So really think about what this is doing. Now, for those of people that are now working from home, their normal rules and regulations are not there anymore. So they don't have to be at their desk by 9. I'm going to say a bit of an old adage, but 9 to 5. They don't have to be at their desks at 9 and sit there till 5. They don't have to have an hour for lunch prescribed between 12 and 1 or 1 and 2. So they will be making things up for themselves. Now, that's them for them. And remember, they may also have their basic levels shaken because, you know, they can't go out and get food or whatever. They may be living with somebody that's vulnerable, so they're self-isolating. So they've got the bottom level gone out the window, and then the second level. Now, thinking about their managers, their leaders, they may not have that same situation. So please bear in mind, all you managers, all you people that have got staff, they may have managers, leaders. So think about that dynamic. The third one up is about belonging and love, self-esteem, the groups, the norms that we belong to. Now, we're self-isolating, so we can't be in those groups. We can't go to the networking events. We can't go to the groups that we would normally go to when we go externally for these groups. We are not part of the team in the working environment because we're externally focusing, you know, we're isolated, we're at home. We can't meet our friends for a drink down the pub on a Friday night or go to the restaurant with our best mate. So all of that third level is actually being smashed about as well. So we're forming new belongings, new groups, new loves, if you like. As in, you know, I'm seeing house party apps coming up, people doing online quizzes. So people are recreating it. So what does that look like for you? Because we need these levels. The fourth one up is about esteem. This comes from 2 places, self-esteem and esteem from others. And this links into appreciation from others for us, for what we do, how we do it. You know, it's us giving our value and being valued for it and appreciated for it. Now, some of you, some of us, some of you, some of your family, some of your friends will have high self-esteem. So they will be, I'm going to say, semi-okay on this one, unless the bottom levels have been hammered as well. You may not have very high self-esteem to start with. Now, if you haven't got very high self-esteem to start with and you rely on others to give you the external, and then you're self-isolating, please think for yourself what you're going to do about your self-esteem, and then how you are going to get that appreciation from others. Now, in a working environment, appreciation can come from anybody externally to you about, thanking you for doing a good piece of work, acknowledging you within a meeting, giving you feedback. Now, if you're self-isolating, think about how you're going to get that. Think about how you might need to ask somebody for that, and it's fine to ask. Maslow's hierarchy is based on a level of understanding. So understanding why we do what we do and how we do it. Understanding and having permission to ask questions. So if understanding is the key, seek to understand before being understood. It's a phrase, it's an adage. Seek to understand before being understood. So if you're requesting something, create an understanding in the other person as to why you're doing it. Now, with change, one of the first things that goes out the windows is people's ability to hear. With conflict, they'll look to self. I'm seeing it happen. I'm seeing it happen in groups. I'm seeing it happening on Facebook. I'm seeing it happening on LinkedIn. I'm seeing people's posts diminish because they're going into self. I'm on WhatsApp groups and I'm seeing the interactions getting less and less and less. And it's one of the triggers that's created this, because I'm seeing it. I understand why it's happening. I know what's going on for people. But thank you, Cheryl. It is so true. We have to step up. We have to remember who we are and what we were and who we are now. We're still the same person. It's just our hierarchy of needs has been shaken. Get that certainty back. Even step over that certainty. Please remember that worry and anxiety is a forward-focused thing. Thing and stuff are my two words because it encompasses so much. Now, the fifth level, and I'm seeing a lot of this happen, not a lot, I'm seeing some of this happen on Maslow, and he is key for change as a theory of motivation, is self-actualization. Now, what does self-actualization mean? It means bringing more of us, more of the person we are, more of the person we be into the world. This is where people step up, step out, step over, step through, step round, but they do something bigger that is greater than themselves. And I'm seeing people doing this for others and they're getting hammered. Now, I've thought about this a lot. Why am I saying this? It's because my belief, you don't have to agree with me. So please, if you don't believe with me, ask me any questions on this stuff. I've got 6 decades plus on the planet and over 3 decades working with the psychological aspect of management and leadership within business. I am passionate about this stuff. Self-fulfillment. People are out there looking to help others. I am self-fulfilling now. I am sharing my information with you to support and help you. I am seeing people doing that and they're getting hammered. Now, why are they getting hammered? Possibly because they're not talking the right language, because they're now talking to people who are possibly down on that bottom level of Maslow. The last thing in their mind that they want to do is self-actualize. The last thing in their mind is about spending more money on a program. Now, for some of us, for some of you, this is the best time to take on board the additional learning, education, personal development, self-awareness processes, because we need to keep our mind active. We need to look outside of ourselves for external stuff to give us. Now, there are online groups, there are online activities where you can form part of the belonging and love. But we now need to create the first level of the physiological: food, warmth, water, rest. We've got to get that right, or at least know that that's okay. Panic buying stopped. There are still some slight restrictions, but panic buying has stopped. The food is there, you just got to queue longer. But the queue longer is a new rule, a new regulation. It's one of our basic now societal rules that we know about. I've just seen a post that the sales in the convenience stores has gone up 800%. So people are now not going to the big supermarkets, they're going to their local stores because they're local. It's safer for them. New rules, new norms coming into play. So please bear that in mind. New groups coming on. Really truly think about where you are going to get your acknowledgement, your self-esteem from. Keep it high within yourself. Think about the script you're running. So acknowledgement to Richard Wilkins and Liz Ivory. Think about the script. Think about what your internal voice is doing in your head. You can only have one thought. You can't do a negative and a positive thought at the same time. You can only have one. So make those thoughts as positive as you can up here for you, for your family. And then access those people that are giving you the information that will help you and get you through this. Now, there's loads of people giving stuff away free, loads of people. Access it. There's loads of stuff online. I've seen live streaming of plays and London shows. And I don't know how they're doing that because they're closed, but maybe they're self-isolating together. There's live streaming of all sorts. There's free podcasts, conscious leadership podcasts. There's a lot on that for you from me. But there's loads of podcasts, comedy podcasts, business podcasts, mental health podcasts. All of these things we can now access free. So if we've lost our job, I'm not getting no income. Well, don't know whether I'm going to get any income or not. When you really think about this, I have tenants. So my consultancy business has gone down the pan because everything's stopped. I have tenants. A lot of those are not working because quite a few of them are trades. So, my income from that has gone down. I've still got to pay my mortgages. I've still got to pay rent because I do rent to rent and I have my own houses. So I'm in the same boat as you. I cannot let that stop me doing stuff. I cannot let that stop me. I cannot let that negatively affect me because then I collapse, and that can't happen for me. So my self-esteem has to be maintained. So please, please, please think about how this affects you. Think about how this relates to you. Think about what this can do for you and how you can use it. If you have any questions on any of this, this is vital. Somebody's just said, and thank you, Gary, loves my energy. We are energy. We are our own energy. We are the person that we are. This is vital for us and our, I'm going to say, survival to get through the stuff that's coming. Isolation's not our norm. I've done that, talked about that on a previous episode. I think it's up on the Conscious Leadership podcast now. Go back or find a live in my feed. They'll always be on my feed or on my page, one or the other. This is vital for us. I'm going to share as much information as I can. I've been office moving, so I've had to, I'm going to say, self-isolate from the person that I was sharing the office with because it was doing my head in. I have to laugh at it. I've now got my own office. I've got piles of paper all around me. I've also got my flowers wherever they are because they make me happy. I've got flowers on my desk as well that smell beautiful. They make me happy. I mean, the flowers on my desk are out the garden. They're at a Lidl's, £1.99. So I'm saving money at the same time. And actually, they're really good flowers. That was slightly off-piste. Really think about how you make use of the information I've just shared with you. And you're right, Melissa, we are all in this together. We are in this together. That is how we're going to get through it, not by isolation. This divide and conquer thing that has been put about in war many, many, many times before. Think about how we can not divide, how we can work together. If you're in WhatsApp groups, if you're on online groups, get in there, be active, combine, make that active and make it your group because it makes us feel better. And it gives us a belonging. So we're up at Maslow. So think about that. If anybody's got anything else they want me to talk about, as in a subject linked to something, please, please, please let me know. 30 plus years of knowledge in this head. I've got that, the brain of that Bruce Almighty. When he gets pushed across the room on that filing cabinet, that's my brain. I pick things out of each folder, each file, and combine them together. I've been doing it for a long time. So please let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about. I will happily do that. If you want to ask me any questions, you want to share anything with me, please do. I'm on all the platforms, so please, please, please talk to me. But in the meantime, have a fabulous Sunday. The sun is shining down here in Kent. I'm hoping it's like that around the rest of the country and the rest of the world. If I've got any global listeners, talk to me. Let me know what you need and have a fabulous, fabulous day. Talk to you all very soon. Thanks for listening to the Conscious Leadership Podcast. You can contact Julie on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, and hear me out. Please subscribe to her YouTube channel for how-to videos and more content. And please message Julie to have your questions answered. Until next time, remember, knowledge plus action with a plan creates magical results. See it, say it, write it, believe it, and achieve it.